What's up, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube? Boogie2988 coming at you live once again through the power of the internet, and this would be my rambling video for the week. It's a little different from what we normally do. If you guys are familiar in the rambling series, this is where I talk about myself, my life, the universe, things around us, things particularly interesting to me, the state of YouTube, health updates, weight updates.
Guys, I'm going to hijack this for a second. For you guys, anyone coming over from my channel, McJuggernice, and I know you guys have your opinions on me, I watched the Rambling series as a fan, and I know the insides and outs of Boogie, just from what he's shared, and I'm sure you guys, as a fan perspective, these are some of your favorite videos. You get to really know Boogie, and you get to feel like you're a part of his life, and it's nice to see somebody be so transparent on YouTube, talk about the different struggles and everything. While we're here, Boogie's letting us stay here indefinitely, which is awesome. But we're trying to help him lose weight. Right. I know there's so many of you guys who watch Boogie.
And let me hijack that for a second to say, I know you guys are used to what Jesse does over his channel with my virtual escape and stuff like that. This guy is famous for doing a narrative. The Psycho series, from time to time, you have to tell a fib. And this is not part of a series. It's not part of anything. This is me and him were talking the other night, and we were talking about some of the issues I have and some of the stuff I'm dealing with, and he's like, this is something you should tell your audience. This is something you should communicate to them. Can we do it on video? Can we talk about it? So here we are. I don't know how long this is going to run.
Strap in.
Yeah.
Get some food if you want, or maybe this is not the time for that.
Yeah, please don't get food.
But I know
get some broccoli. Get something.
Right. A lot of you guys follow Boogie because he's a bigger guy. And I think a lot of you guys wish, from a fan, you could hang out with Boogie, get to talk with him. I know you guys post your comments. A lot of people were very opinionated when it came to his surgery or some of his weight loss decisions, because everybody thinks they're a master at this thing because they Google search something. Right. And that's all well and good, whatever. But as a fan and just as somebody who, say, subscribed to the channel for these rambling videos and a real look at somebody who's struggling with weight, I'm curious as to why. What gets somebody to that point of...
And I think Jesse knows me well enough to know I sat through a year worth of nutrition seminars, and I know what to do. I know what I need to do to lose the rest of this weight. It helped me lose the 200 pounds that I've already lost. I've got another 100 to go, 60-some to go before I can get the skin removal surgery, and then it's a nightmare to lose the rest. I'm going through what Swift is going through right now, which is just beating himself. Check his link in the description box below if you want to see what Swift is going through. Beating himself every day to lose a pound, 2 pounds, 3 pounds. I'm not there yet. If I do the right thing where I am now, I can lose
and
2, 3 pounds a week. And I know what it is.
And everybody out there knows what it is. Right. You eat healthy, you exercise, but you still are not either doing it, and you could say it's a motivation thing, but the motivation comes down to the whys of it.
And there's so many of you right now who I've seen say, I lose 30 pounds, I put back on the 30 pounds. I lose 50 pounds, I put back on the 50 pounds. I was stuck in that cycle forever, and I used my surgery as a shortcut, as a forced rehabilitation to make me relearn everything, to do what I needed to do. That's why I ended up getting surgery. And yeah, in a lot of ways it was a shortcut. Now, was it the easy path? Far from it. $20,000 disappeared out of my bank account. I was sick for a month. I was throwing up. I was bleeding out of my mouth. I was throwing up blood. I was vomiting blood. I was secreting blood. I was bleeding from my side wounds. I was constipated. I was sick all the time for the first 6 months. Eating was a chore. It was a miserable chore, just trying to get food into my body again. And so I don't know if it was the easy way out, but it was definitely a shortcut that gave me a way to learn the discipline temporarily.
And you made that change just because why?
At the time, I thought, here I am happily married. Mm-hmm. Here I am going to be able to live the rest of my life. I'm doing it for my family. I'm doing it for my friends. I'm doing it for my fans. And of course, I was doing it for me because for the first time in my life, I started to kind of enjoy things, because whenever I talk about this on my channel, a lot of times, and I've talked to you about it privately. This is why I'm so afraid to talk about it in this video, because people see the nice house. People know that I have a bank account. People know that I got the dog. People know that I've got a lot of nice things, but depression, anxiety, these are things I've struggled with ever since I was a kid. And for the first time in my life, with all of this other great stuff in my life, I was starting to crack through that anxiety and that depression. And I'm like, now's the time. Now's the time to really grab this thing by the reins and get better and lose the weight and be a better husband and be a better YouTuber and be a better, not role model, because I've never considered myself that, but a good example of making the right decision and getting better.
And all that sounds really good. It sounds like the packaged version
right.
of why you made the change. But I think for a second, I want to strip you away from that.
Okay.
I want it to be just us having a conversation.
Okay.
To where it's just like, and this will be the last time I'm going to reference them for a moment, because you guys get to see Boogie doing his thing for you guys, so he's constantly aware of your existence.
It's like I told you the other night, man. Like, I don't know what it's like to be happy. I don't know what happy's supposed to be.
Well, I just want to ask you just blunt, and maybe some people have wanted to ask you this, but it's just like, and I'm not even going to beat around the bush. How did you get this big? What happens to somebody?
Man, I was eating to die. I mean, I will tell you, when I was 15, I tried to kill myself for the first time, and I was unsuccessful, right? But I never stopped trying, man. I would go to a doctor when I was 25, and they would say, if you keep eating the way you eat, you're going to be dead by 30.
So you wanted to die?
I wanted to die, man. I was just so unhappy, and I knew I didn't have the strength or the weakness or whatever it takes to like harm yourself to like end it, because I tried and I failed. But I thought, if I got to do this thing that I really enjoyed, which is eating food, and it got to kill the pain for a while, it made me feel better. It made me feel good. It's the only thing that ever made me feel good. And then I also got to die. That's a win-win-win all across the board.
What would drive you to get to that point?
I don't think people really understand how severe my anxiety and depression really are. But I was a shut-in for 7 years, Jesse. I didn't leave the house for 7 years because my anxiety was so bad. I would sneak out in the middle of the night to go to McDonald's, a 24-hour McDonald's. I drive there, I drive back. If the guy asks me questions, I drive away and go to a different McDonald's because I don't want to interact with humans. I was so nervous, so anxious. I had all of my food delivered for years.
You had a social anxiety?
Social anxiety.
Well, where did that come from? Because I don't think that's just like natural to have that.
I mean, for some people it is. I mean, there's some people out there who don't experience trauma, but I experienced trauma, and that comes from. I don't even like talking about it.
Forget that they're even there, because there's people struggling.
When I go to Overeaters Anonymous, and I've only been a few times, but when I go, and we talk about it, most of the people my size, I got to like 500-600 pounds. It's always one thing. It's you were abused as a kid, and that abuse almost always includes sexual abuse, especially for the women. Like all of these women that get really, really big, so many of them have received sexual abuse at some point in their childhood. But it involves like some sort of mental and physical abuse, and I got it in spades from the moment I was born. Like my father being an alcoholic and him being abusive, and my mother being abusive, and my sister and my brother being broken, and they were both older than me, so they were able to do crazy stuff too. And it 18 years of just straight out misery. When I was 15, I'd had enough at 15. I was just ready to die at 15. And it didn't get any better.
Did the food come from somewhere? Because why was it food? Was the decision to be, this is what I'm going to use to kill my
mom would use food as like as a tool of the abuse. I mean, I sat down when I was 25 years old, and she told me, "I'm sorry, I fed you wrong. I did it on purpose." Like, she knew what she was doing. She knew what she was doing.
What is it? Did it on purpose? Like,
she said if she thought I got fat enough, I would never be able to leave the home, and I'd stay with her forever because she didn't want to be lonely in life. She told me that if I got so fat a girl never found me attractive, she'd never have to worry about me getting married, having kids, and leaving her. And that was her plan. And then she would use food as like a tool. So I would get the hell beat out of me. And then we go to McDonald's, right? Get a Happy Meal. Everybody's happy. We're having a Happy Meal. I come home to her and Dad fist fighting, and then let's rush the kids off to Pizza Hut, and let's make things better. And I don't know, food always did make things better. Right now, eating self-destructive, terrible foods still makes me feel better, and that sucks because I've got so much that makes me feel bad right now with the divorce. And trying to pilot this dying YouTube channel and to keep it from driving itself into the ground.
How are you still going?
Force of will, discipline, luck. I don't know, what's the alternative, dude? Like, what's the alternative? Like, just to give up? If I was going to give up, I would have gave up at 15. If I was going to give up, I would have given up at 10. I'm not going to give up at 44. You know, like, you do what you do. There's a lot of people counting on me. You know, I got to take care of my dog. I got to take care of me. I got to take care of my roommate, my best friend, my PA. I got to take care of people who are counting on me. You know, what else are you going to do? Like, what am I going to just sit in this house for 7 more years? Wait to die?
Do you want to die now, or do you want to live?
Most of me sees the logic in death is inevitable. I need to die. I'm going to die. It doesn't change anything. It's just going to happen. So why not just get it over with, right? What's the difference between 5 years from now or 15 years from now? What's the matter? What's the difference, right? And my brain has always thought that way, and it's always been this technique where I just like deal with the anxiety. When the anxiety is really bad, and I can't sleep, and I can't think straight, and I can't move, and I can't act, and my brain just says, you know what, it doesn't matter, we'll die soon anyway, right? And then sometimes I'll just say, you know what, then let's get a pizza today. Today's the day we get a pizza. And I still can't eat a whole pizza. I can't eat half a pizza. I can only eat 2 slices, right, thanks to the surgery. But I'll do it from time to time. I will completely give in because that self-destructive part of me just says, it's inevitable, it's going to happen, so let's just do it. But there was a part of me just before getting the surgery that saw the light at the end of the tunnel. And then we got like just thrown so far away from that light, like with the divorce and my entire family just disappearing overnight. Like, how do you do that? How do you deal with that? I don't know. I went from having no family in the world to having 150 people to call a family to nobody again. Right? Sitting in this house alone for Christmas. How do you deal with that? I don't know how I'm supposed to deal with that. But, you know, that part of me still, that still tiny part of me is saying, what if I took control for a little while? Like, what if I got to run the show? Let's see where that goes. You've never done that, right?
Yeah.
That's the one thing you haven't done. You let the stupid self-destructive part of you do whatever it wanted to do, and this is where we got. You've let me run the show just a tiny bit. And I helped you build a YouTube channel. I helped you run a marriage. I helped you get your shit together. Let me do it. Let me fix it. Let me be in charge. And I desperately want to let that happen. It's so tiny and it's such a quiet little voice, but it's there. But that's why just before you came in, the reason I wanted you to come in, one of the reasons I wanted to do this with you is because I'm so tired of living that life, man, of just eat, sleep, self-destruct, sleep, wait to die. And so I started therapy again. And I started 2 types of therapy. I got the one on my phone, the phone app, and then I've got the person I'm seeing. And I started a new pharmaceutical, and we're almost a month in now, and I'm starting to notice slight differences. So I hope we have the right one. I just want to try to be better. And the worst part about it is one of the things that the weight doesn't matter to me. Like, that's the most frustrating thing. When I was at my biggest, it still didn't matter. You know, I don't hate myself for being fat. I don't hate myself for looking gross. I look in the mirror, I know I'm gross. I look at my crappy teeth, I know I'm gross. I don't care. It's never bothered me. This is the body I have. I don't care. What I care about now is being miserable. I'm just done being miserable. I'm just tired of being angry all the time. I'm tired of being sad all the time. I'm tired of just being self-destructive all the time. I want to see how it's like to be you for a change, man. And I watch you build a business for yourself, build a business for your family, the people you care about. I see you bending over backwards to take care of people, you know, and people flock to you because of it. I want to be that guy. I want to do that, you know. Just once, just a few years. You get your whole life to do it. I'd like to do it for 10 years. That was always the biggest thing I had. The biggest issue I had. I used to say on my YouTube channel all the time, Jesse, I'd say, I know what to do. I don't know how to do it. And that's because I could never get my brain into that right place. And for the first time, a year and a half ago, my brain was finally in the right place. It's too little too late for my marriage. You know, it was too little too late for a lot of things I cared about. But it's never too late for everything, right? I don't know. Maybe I'll meet somebody else once I get my shit together. Maybe that was always part of the plan. Maybe I get to travel the world, and maybe I'll do it alone, and maybe it'll just be awesome to be alone. How awesome would it be if I could just like being alone? How awesome would it be if I just liked me?
Do you like you?
Fucking hate me, dude. I hate like these guys who like post in my comment section or have like these little sub forums about hating them. They can never hate me as much as I hate me. And I know your next question is gonna be why. And it's just because my therapist said everyone I've ever trusted, everyone I've ever loved, my mom, my dad, they told me I was worthless. All the time. What a worthless piece of crap I was. 18 years of that. You know, Steve, you're the worst thing that ever happened to me. You're a piece of garbage. You destroyed my body. You destroyed my mind. If it wasn't for you, I'd be able to go off and do what I want to do. You know, I can't believe I had you. You're such a disappointment. You were supposed to be the good one. You're the one I wasn't supposed to screw up, and now I've screwed you up. Now look at you. I hate you. Every day for 18 years, man. How do you shake that? I don't know. I
think it's time to loop him back in.
What do you mean? Oh.
These.
Hey.
No, seriously, for how many years have you been doing YouTube?
I love these guys. I tell them that every at the end of every video. I love these guys.
But now what 12 years of hearing how much you matter and how much of a difference you made in their lives? How many people have reached out over the years and said how much you've changed their life? Or the people you've met in real life that have hugged you crying?
But it's never enough. I don't know if you can understand that. I could spend the rest of my life, you know, dedicated to these people. I could spend the rest of my life dedicated to charity. I could spend the rest of my life doing nothing but good. And it's still never going to be enough. I don't know if you can understand that. I don't know how to make that click. I don't know how to make my brain say it's okay.
I feel like you're trending closer to that, at least.
I don't know, man. I don't even know what that's supposed to feel like, so I don't know. There's some days more than not when I'm eating crappy food and I say to myself, I don't need this. I don't want this. Why am I doing this, right? My PA asks what I want for dinner and I say, it doesn't matter. I don't care. Just let's do a protein shake. Let's just do shrimp today. Let's just eat whatever's in the house. Doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be a fun meal. It doesn't have to be a self-destructive meal. I'm doing that more than ever. I don't know how much of that's the surgery, how much of that is me getting better. You know, I hope it's me getting better. I really want it to be me getting better.
I remember watching a video, one of the rambling videos actually, not too long ago, that actually had an impact on me. I remember you're talking, I think it was prior to you going to the Creator Summit, and you were like dealing with the surgery, and like it was a big trip. You were really nervous for it, and you did a rambling video prior to it, and you were
terrified. Yeah,
you were having a literal freak out, like it was low key on the rambling video, and I saw it for a second of just like.
I wish you could have seen it like before getting on the plane and just like around the house. I was completely disassociated. I was completely out of my mind. I was like walking around this house, just like sweating bullets and terrified. There's no way I can do this, even with a friend. I can't do this. I can't do this without my ex-wife. Can't do this. There's no way. And then, of course, you saw, I know where you're leading at, the jubilation in the vlog and the jubilation when I got home. The problem with that is like, for a narcissist like a YouTuber, like one of us, that's like mainlining heroin directly into your brain. I got that from a Netflix movie. But that kind of attention, man, and you're in New York, and you're on top of the world, and there's Markiplier, there's Jacksepticeye, there's the CEO of YouTube, and there's all this great food and drinks coming around, and you're having the best time. And
I think it was triple the jubilation, though, because you proved something to yourself.
There's a big part of that, too. But then I get home, and then I'm just stuck in this brain again, and this brain is saying, you don't deserve that. Why do you think you deserve that? Why do you think you're special? You're just some fat idiot in Arkansas. It was a pity invite anyway. Why would you be one of the 110 creators invited to something like that? You don't deserve that. You never deserve anything like that. You're a piece of crap. Like, they made a mistake. Whose invite did you actually get? Whose slot did you take up?
Now, what about the other part of you? I wanted more of that. I love that. That was so much fun.
That's how it's always been. This is how I fell in love with my wife. You've heard the story. They have not heard the story. The way I fell in love with my wife, she came to Fayetteville. And we'd been talking for a while, and I knew that she was a potential person to fall in love with, but I didn't know until we really got to be around each other. And she was so in love with this city. And I understand that this city is magic. I understand that Dixon Street is amazing. I understand that the people that live here are some of the best people in the world. I understand it. I can't really feel it. But when we were together that weekend, and she was driving through these mountains and smiling from ear to ear and meeting the people and talking about how incredible they were, I could see it through her eyes. And for that brief minute, I could feel what she was feeling. And that's like crack cocaine, man, because I've never felt that in my life. I've never met a single person. I'm sorry to all the fans I've met. I'm sorry to all the fellow creators I've met. I've never met anybody that made me feel the way just driving down the streets of Fayetteville made her feel. And then when I took her all over the world, man, and we went to Hollywood, and we went to LA, we went to New York, and I got to experience it through her eyes. And New York's just a city. It's just a place. LA's just a place. But to her, it was magic. And then that made it magic for me. I don't know how to feel that myself. I don't know.
You did.
Briefly. I mean, there was, like I said.
You felt it. She's not putting feelings in it. Your own mind is creating them just as much as your own mind has created all the negative stuff.
This is something he said to me the other night, and I want to repeat it here. He's like, you know, when you were doing that stuff for your family, when you were doing that stuff to create a better things for you and your wife, you're really doing it for you. And I was like, no, I was doing this for my family. I was doing it for my wife. He's like, yeah, but it made you feel good to do that for your family. You benefit from all of that. The good feelings you were having is why you were doing that. You weren't doing it as a slave. You were doing it to help. And you like helping. Like, that's what you said. And that, like, really struck me. Because why don't I try to do more things like that? Like, why don't I help for me? And maybe, just maybe, I try helping me.
Yeah.
Which is something I've never done. That's something
helping
I've never
you
done.
Helps everyone. Because people look to you, Boogie.
This is why I'm in therapy again, right? Because I think, to be honest with you, I'm not going to get that last 60, 70 off I need for surgery if I don't get into therapy. If I don't have someone to talk to you like you, or a professional, more importantly, who can do the same thing that we did the other night.
It's all mental game.
Now, right?
It's all mental game.
And that's the worst part about it is I think my biggest mistake was, I think the reason my marriage failed, I think the reason I spent 7 years alone, I was always in and out of therapy, but I was always combative with my therapist. I wasn't ready to do it. That part of my brain that says, hey, why are we here? Why are we trying to get better? Don't we want to die? We should go die. Let's do the Fight Club thing. Let's see if we can hit rock bottom.
Because why would you let somebody in?
Right?
Why would you let somebody in? Because you've only been hurt.
And I don't know. I thought, to be honest with you, when I got hurt again with this, me and my ex-wife falling out of love and deciding that we'd be better off alone, and we are. She's happier, I'm happier. It's good. But I thought I was never going to trust again. I thought I was going to never love again. And maybe I won't. But that doesn't mean it's all over. Right? Open yourself up to the possibility. Open yourself up to the opportunity. Invite people in. See what happens. I've got burnt a few times since her. And it sucks. It sucks. I trusted only a handful of people and some of the things those people did. But I don't know. I gotta learn to trust me. I gotta learn that's really it.
Yeah.
I gotta learn to like me. But that's hard, man. I don't know. I don't even know where you begin with that. Something that I think 98% of the people that are watching right now take for granted. The ability to just think that they deserve good things. To think that they deserve
just to be nice to themselves.
Yeah.
I think everyone's comparing themselves to everybody, and that's kind of why I wanted to push you to this video, not only for yourself but for everyone watching. Is like, I hate myself most days too. Yeah. I mean, that's just self-improvement, dislike so many things about yourself because you do want to be better, but then there's so many things, whether it's from people online, especially for YouTubers, or just other people in your life, where it's just constantly like, especially if you're really self-aware, you can get self-aware to the point to where it's like really bad, to where it's like any little blemish or whatever gets blown out of proportion because. But
that's where I've always been. Yeah. Right. Like that's the thing. Like I don't care about my teeth. I don't care about my face. I don't care about any of this sort of
physical stuff.
Who cares? This I hate this gray matter between my ears, man. Right. I hate the way I think.
Because it can be your own worst enemy.
I hate the way I feel. I mean, it's not even that, man. I don't know. It's terrifying to even. I don't want to say it to them. I want to say it to you, but it comes down to the fact that I don't think I'm a very good person, and I've done good things. I know that, but there's not a way to do enough good in this world. And I think a lot of that comes down to like the example my mom gave, because my mom was a monster. I mean, she was a torturous, evil monster, but she was also crazy. She was crazy, and she didn't mean Sometimes I think she did. Sometimes I think she took joy of the things she did to us. But for the most part, it was just its tortured brain doing miserable stuff because she didn't know any better. She couldn't control it. But she also taught Head Start for 25 years, preschool for underprivileged kids, autistic kids, kids in wheelchairs, kids with no income, handicapped kids, kids with Down syndrome, and gave them a place to kids that weren't eating at home, getting a square meal for breakfast and lunch before they went home. These kids who were getting abused at home, she would get them removed from the home. She would work with these parents to get them back to school so they would get off of welfare so they could actually provide for the kids and get them out of the low income situation and help them get jobs. She would buy gifts on Christmas with her own money to give to those kids. She would go to the local grocery store on Thanksgiving to make sure there was meals for the families who didn't have anything. She gave and gave and gave and gave and gave and gave to try to make up for what she was doing at home. And she never forgave herself. And if she did that much good and she couldn't forgive herself, how the hell do I forgive me? You know? I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to feel okay about myself. I never do. That's why internet hate bothers me so much sometimes, because I believe they're right sometimes, right? Like, Boogie, you're not as nice as you come across in your videos. Yeah, man. I have to try to be nice. I have to put effort into being nice. I have to choose when I wake up every day to be a good person, to be kind to people on the internet, to be kind to people in my life. It does not come natural. You are right. My therapist would tell me I still choose. I still choose the right thing. But it is not an easy choice sometimes because I am hurt.
Yeah.
And I am angry. And I'm mad about it. I'm so mad about it. I'm still mad about stuff that happened when I was 5. Man, I've never processed it. I've never dealt with it. I don't even know where to start. And so, you know what I did is I shoved it down and chased it with a cheeseburger and chased it with a bowl of ice cream. And I knew, talking to other people who got the surgery, I knew I wasn't going to be able to do that anymore. And I knew I would come apart. I knew I would fall apart. I knew I'd have to find new ways. And I did. If you look, this is why my channel's suffering right now, because I said and did so much stupid stuff. And the worst part about it, some of the stuff I said, I did on purpose. I said and did stupid stuff on stream, knowing it would hurt my reputation, knowing it would hurt my business. I would come in here and I would half-ass my job, knowing that it was going to damage the business.
Are you already afraid of this video?
Of course, man. I have an anxiety disorder. Before we stepped in this room to start filming this video, I was nervous. I'm terrified to see what this is going to look like.
Is there a possibility you won't even post this?
There's always that possibility, man. But I'm going to try to do it for you. I'm going to try to do it for them. If it were up to me, I'd burn it, because the last thing I want in the world is people to know that the people who hate me are right to hate me, man.
Guys, you're more than welcome to say anything you want in the comments section on Reddits or whatever. But understand that what Boogie is currently doing in this, and potentially he's said enough and doesn't want to go any further, leave your support if you feel so compelled in the comments below. Drop some likes on this video. Subscribe, because nobody on the face of the internet would be as vulnerable as he's just been. And this moment right here is just another turning point of you getting to that perfect spot in your mind.
I hope so, man. And I'll tell you guys something, and I think it's so important you know this. For those of you who may have watched the channel when it was at its best, for those of you who stuck around, for those of you who just watched a few Francis sketches when you were going through high school, for the people who are just here temporarily, or even the people who've just been here the whole time, know that you are the reason I had the motivation to ever do this. That, the fact that you guys gave me any positive response at all was fulfilling. The fact that you made my dreams come true of having a nice house to live in, to have a money in the bank so that I could afford the surgery I needed, so that I knew I could have health insurance for the first time in my life. It has brought me such incredible peace of mind that I could finally start working on this. If you guys think by watching this video that I don't appreciate you, it's the opposite. You guys are the only thing in my life I like. I don't know if you understand that. When I meet you guys at VidCon, when I meet you guys in the street, when I meet people at Walmart, like we just did, and who knows me, it's probably the only time in a day, other than when I'm stuffing my fat, stupid face, I don't feel like crap. So
I'm glad you said that, because that's what I was pushing for. Because, like, you know, it's easy to get used to this lifestyle or having fans even, or being internet famous or even famous. But, like, for me growing up super insecure, you might not see it now, but for everyone who, like, never believed in me, and all the hard times over the last few years, it's been you guys and the internet that's really kept me going and made me feel like I was worth something. And I can see why you guys on the internet, whether it's Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube even, where you guys want to grow your following because it's like a validator, and it's like, it makes me feel better about myself. I get that. I feel better having my fans in my life, and as, like, I don't know what I would do without them.
But let me be proof. Like, let me be proof, man. It is validating. It helps. I'm not going to lie. But it doesn't fix things. Money doesn't fix things. Fame doesn't fix things. If you are miserable in your trailer home, you will be just as miserable in your mansion, man. You got to work on this. This is the most important thing in the world. Putting work into this, putting work into your brain, putting work into loving yourself. It doesn't matter if the entire world loves you. If you don't love you, it's pointless. And I can tell you, from a person who's been wined and dined by YouTube, as a person who's been flown all over the world to do appearances, as a person who's met tens of thousands of fans, it helps, but it ain't going to fix you. Therapy, sometimes medication, putting in the work, man.
Talking with friends, whatever you got, support group wise.
Hey, man. And listen to this guy, because I tell you, we have a lot more in common than you think. That's how we ended up bonding. You might think it's just because we made rage videos for fun. No, man, it's because this dude, we have a lot in common. We should do one of these for you one day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wait do you hear how messed up this little kid is, man? All right, guys, we should wrap this up. It's probably like an hour.
Yeah. For you guys watching, like, what is the takeaway here? I mean, there's a lot, but even us, who you might look up to, not perfect. And don't compare yourself to our lives and the things that we have and what you think will make somebody happy or better. Know that you're special the way you are, and that you're worth something.
Amen.
Followers not included. It doesn't matter. Like, we love you guys.
If I'm worth an ounce, then you're worth 10 pounds. I promise you. I promise you have any respect for me, I guarantee you're a better person than me. I guarantee it. Even though monsters on those little subreddits, man, sometimes I think they're better than me.
Right. And if we do see any hate, we know that you're hurting just as much. And it's okay to be vulnerable for once. It's the internet. That's the place where you can be vulnerable. Like, just say something real.
Right. Because I learned to be responsible the way I behave on the internet. But when I first came on the internet, that's what I did. You know, that's why these guys have all, like, the crazy fan theories and all the mean stuff to say. I get it, man. I know where it comes from. We got a lot more in common than you think. I was posting on 4chan back when 4chan was cool, and 4chan was never cool. So stay away from there. But I'm just saying, that's it. I get it, man. You know, I never take it personal. I get it. Hell, I agree.
And drawing everything back to weight, for those watching, looking for some takeaway for there, just know why this video turned into what it did. Is there's always a reason as to why we get to a certain extent. I was 60 pounds heavier just because I didn't like myself either.
And for those out there who don't have weight problems, who may watch this for whatever ironic reason, just know, man, a little bit of empathy goes a long way, because most of the people who you see who are super skinny or super fat or struggling, but any other drug that you might be addicted to. You know, food's not a drug, but it may as well be. Sugar practically is. Anybody who's addicted to any of that stuff, man, they're struggling, they're hurting, man. Have a little empathy. Empathy goes a long way. It means a lot. And for those of you who have empathized with me, you have saved me. I hope you know that. At least as best I can be saved. So, guys, as always, thanks for watching. I love you very much, and I'll speak with you again soon. I hope you get a positive takeaway from this.
Subscribe to this guy. Click that post notification bell. Ring the bell.
Ring the freaking bell. See you guys.